Man, that's your house, right? That's where you are right now?
Is it? Is that where I am? Oh yeah, I guess I'm home.
What
I'm, I'm home.
is that your art on the wall there, or is that
Are
Larcy's, or is that like
are
the
you
paint?
asking if I made it? Is that what you're
Yeah,
asking?
I want to know.
No, Larcy like found that at some like neighborhood buy nothing or something. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
It's pretty cool though.
I swear, like every time you're gone and back, then there's like different things on your walls. All right.
Yeah. I'm just in a different place in my home. Which is it's all brand new to me. When I come home, I'm like, oh wow, this is cool. I'm like, wow, look at that art. That's so cool. And it's probably been here. I don't know.
Oh no,
I
man. Yeah, let me tell you, show this. Can you
What
right
do
over
you
there are
got?
these, let's see. On the wall there are these two
Yeah, the pictures right there.
yeah. So Lisa paints. It's just like Larcy, not as good as Larcy.
I didn't know
She
that. I didn't know that. How long has she
she
been doing that?
she's picked it up about a year and a half ago. Yeah.
Cool.
And has been doing like, online classes and stuff.
Yeah.
So all around this room and increasingly around the house, there are paintings that Lisa's done. And I just like I have no skill set in this area. So I think everything is phenomenal, right? Amazing. So those two ones I just showed you, I came back from Atlanta. I'm like, oh, those are new. Those are great. She's like, no, they've been up for a year and a half, right?
That's good.
She
That's
goes,
good.
and this is a recurring theme.
She's like, thanks for noticing.
She's like, she's right. Thanks for noticing. And she says, it must be great to be you. The world is constantly new, right? I'm like, yes, it's great. I'm like, just
You're like,
appreciate it.
wow, this is such a cool thing. You're like rediscovering things. And she's just like, this is great. You love all things because it's all spectacular and the world is constantly reinventing itself right in front of your eyes.
Right. Totally. So you're back for a few days. I'm in Seattle for a bit of time here too. So what's a report, one, two, or three things from the field from your travels that you can share with us?
Yeah, so the this last trip, I spent time in Georgia and then in Texas. And Georgia was interesting because it was one of those like I mean, we did the podcast from there, but it was one of those like it was not on our map at all.
Right.
Georgia was on nobody's map, and then all of a sudden with Kamala it was on everybody's map. So it was the two trips that are going to Georgia led by Ben and Puya because that's what we got left. And also like Georgia's like a long term play for us. I
Right.
mean for us like on the left in general. So that was a important piece to go meet with elected officials, meet with key stakeholders there. A lot of transition going on in Georgia.
Yeah, so let
Uh,
me let me ask you some because we did talk about Georgia a couple days
yeah.
ago and you were going to go to a rally on Saturday where Pramila Jayapal was going to be speaking. So how was that rally?
Oh, the rally was great. The rally was like bigger than we thought. We were all shocked by how many people came to that. It was like the third at least of young college students.
Hmm.
It was people from all across the AANHPI diaspora. It was a lot of folks, and that community is like learning its strength.
Hmm.
For culturally, for a while, it was like keep your head down, stay out of it. It's a black and white thing, and it's not about you. And only recently have they been activated politically, and with them comes all this energy, but also money. And so it is a game changer in states all across the country. So that the and also Kamala's candidacy is this is like one of their own is making it.
Hmm.
So it's a bunch of excitement. It is a lot of new door knockers. Now that Georgia's relevant, they're ready to like I guess it's a new generation of organizers. I would say that the previous ones under Stacey Abrams very much um, in the vein of Black Lives Matter movement and then the legacy of the civil rights movement. Now with AANHPI people, and it's Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander, and the NH is in the middle now, and it's new, and I gotta keep repeating that and get used to it. But that's what that is for folks who are new to that term. Um, this is this is now a movement that runs across socioeconomic backgrounds. It's wider on the political spectrum. Um, it is more of a necessity of a coalition, because even within the AANHPI community, there's this like broad swath of like
Mhm.
people who are super progressive and like activists, and people who were it not for Trump may be Republicans. Actually, if they were in Washington state, they'd be Republicans. So they have to come together on their own, block, and then go and move and then make coalitions with
Mm.
other groups. So it's an interesting group to be a part of.
So yeah, and I hear what you're saying about them. They're like that body of folks nationally, and you have been a big part of getting connected to
Mhm.
this coalition you have. Um, uh, is like coming into its own on its own terms, and
Right.
that's really cool to see. Then, and I'm thinking like we're Andy Kim running for the Senate in New
Yes.
Jersey, Derek Tran in South
The
in
U.S.
Orange
House.
County in the U.S.
Yep.
House, right?
Yep.
Um, Michelle Awe in Georgia. Like
Hmm.
this is a total next generation of leadership.
Young Ramaswamy, 25-year-old, running for state senate. He'd be the youngest state senator in the country.
In Georgia or where?
In Georgia, running in
Okay.
Gwinnett and Fulton counties,
Uh-huh.
which has, I think it's about 16% Asian, and he's young Indian, and he's Indian American, and he's like got his shot. He's got his
Yeah.
shot.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's really cool to see that. And it's more than cool, actually. It's really, really good for our society. It's really good.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is. And we'll see where it goes after this. I think that politics is simplified now. I've said this before, it's simplified because it's like the bad guys and the good guys basically.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, I would like to be a good guy. And so, what brings us together is just that we have got to take down basically Darth Vader. But after that, it is this. Now we got to figure out where everybody stands on nuanced positions. So this is the most unified we're ever going to be. So that was Georgia.
Yeah. And let's go to Texas. And then after Texas, I have a couple special things for you.
You got some special, good, good. Hopefully, it's not like checks for me to sign or
Oh yeah,
or
it's
budget lines for me to approve.
I've been storing up any critiques or questions about
Oh,
the
good.
organization for you. Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's really good. Let's do it live in front of everybody. I love that. Texas is very different. So Texas has been on the map for a long time. We've been going down to the Rio Grande Valley for years now. We
the Rio
back.
Grande is the river that separates Mexico from Texas.
That's right. That's right. And this. It's like I'm getting the terminology down now. There's like all these places, Houston and Dallas and San Antonio and these other, and then there's South Texas, and that
Okay.
and South Texas is really just it's Latinos who have come up, and they own the whole place. Like all of
Okay.
the elected officials in South Texas, all of the like most of the population they're all immigrants from either Mexico or the countries below it and
Yeah.
or south of it. And it's like a different state. It is like a
Yeah.
different state.
Totally.
And I could see how like the rest of Texas is like, that's South Texas. We treat them differently. Or they think of themselves differently. But that's also where the recent congressional districts were redrawn. It was redrawn to be more difficult for Democrats to win down there. Vicente Gonzalez won in the redrawn district where he lives, and then that left the other district open to have somebody fight for it. And a Republican won last time, and Michelle Viejo competed against her and is now doing it again, and is probably going to have more luck tying this other candidate to MAGA and to Trump,
Uh-huh.
but it's
Okay.
still an uphill battle. still an uphill battle. But that's where we're gonna get all these flippable seats all over the country. That's where there's one in Texas.
Okay. Yeah, I saw something come through the news yesterday. So the Democratic Majority PAC, which is the PAC supporting congressional House
Hmm.
candidates for the Dems, is airing ads in the 15th where you just were, right? For that
Hmm.
Vallejo's, and because Vallejo has released a poll that showed her down by only a couple points to
Yes.
Monica
Yep.
de la Cruz.
Yeah. She's within the margin of error now. So it's tightening. And Monica's has these views that are very, very Trumpy.
Okay.
And so it's gonna be, if she just connects her to Trump, I think the momentum away from him is gonna just put some wind in her sails. She's also moderated her position
Yeah.
on a few things. Um, I was talking to um, Pramila Jayapal, who was at the Georgia event, and she believes that maybe she moderated a little bit too much. But Pramila chairs the Progressive Caucus, so that's she's supposed to say that, I guess. She believes it, but also that's what she's supposed to say. But maybe I agree. We'll see. I think one of the things we were talking about was on a bunch of these. There's a lot of candidates who have moderated their position to try to win the middle, and we'll see if it's a winning tactic. We'll see.
Now, is McAllen, Texas, where you were directly on the border?
Yeah, it is 10 minutes 10 minutes north of the border. Like it is on the border, and where we were staying was 10 minutes away from the border. We drove down there, actually. We drove down there and got into a little bit of trouble with the with the people on are you looking it up? Are you gonna pull up the map?
Yeah. Yeah, you know me, man. I like a good map.
You like a good map. We got into a little bit of we went too close to the border, and the
Oh, so
border patrol.
there it is. So McAllen,
Yeah,
the district there, or McAllen, the city touches the Rio Grande, touches the border, I see.
yeah.
Okay, so you went to the border. What does it mean to go to the border?
So, the border is, you see the kind of like zigzaggy line. So it's not just a straight line.
Right.
And it actually, in some places it like curves up into the city. So you can get pretty close to it. And you're showing where it is in relation to the, yeah. Um,
And where did you fly into, by the way?
so you have to stop in Austin or Dallas, and then you fly directly into McAllen, which has an international airport.
Of course it does. Sure, sure. I mean, people put a prop plane across the border. It's an international airport. Okay.
It's an international. No, 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 no. Listen, McAllen is one of those cities. Like McAllen has a Best Buy and a Target and swanky coffee shops
This is
and
so much the Charles metric. This is the
and po-
Charles.
and poke and Korean fried chicken and Dave's hot chicken and all kinds of, like, anything that is cool that millennials and increasingly Gen Zers expect from a city is in McAllen, Texas.
Okay. So what does it mean to go to the border?
Yeah, so I mean, it's just it's not what you think it is. I think a lot of people think that there's a ton of security and there's a lot of pomp and circumstance in order for you to get through someplace to get there, but
Uh-huh.
it's not. You just drive up to, like, we drove up to this. Here, I'm gonna show this. There's no audio, but I'm gonna share this. Um, we we drove up to this area that was like behind Burger King right here. Can you see my screen here?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and this is us. There's the wall, one piece of it, and our people walked up to it, and they were taking pictures. They were taking pictures of it here. Like, yeah, this is them descending down from there, right there,
Okay, okay.
and they're coming down, and I'm talking to them, and then here's the border patrol people, and the guy's like, the first thing he says is, "Hey, are we all citizens?"
Okay. All right. All right.
Yeah. and I started talking to him, and then everyone else. We started to walk away, and then when I saw him coming down, I was like, "Nope, we're not walking away. we we're gonna stop and talk to him." So he was explaining to us where you can't go up there, and you could drive right here, but you can't. And there we've got Mary from Connecticut over there, and we've got Kyle, who's the team lead, and he's a student from South Carolina. We've got Miss Shanita, who's an educator from Florida over there. We've got Elizabeth, who's a team lead and a longtime volunteer. And so, there's another guy coming right there, and then the gates opening up, and another guy's driving from the other side. And so he's explaining how excited they were that there was some action. Like he was like, "Oh, we were disappointed." He had to tell his people, "Oh no, these are just some locals or something." He said. He was like, "Yeah, it's 6 hours of just waiting and 30 seconds worth of action or something." He said. So he called the whole team down. But
Wow.
yeah, we had to go and see the border. It is something else to go up to it and see
Yeah,
it.
no, it really, I know. These kind of things can be very, very impactful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you practice that in a lot of your teaching, like, and doing it on location. But um yeah, it's not as big and scary as it looks like.
Mhm.
And it doesn't, you can see like those the in the picture, in the video I showed, there's like the section where there's like big, tall, scary, whatever, and then like beside it there's like not it's like not the same kind of fence. And it's meaningful, and also it's not as giant as people think. And then you see the border patrol response and you go, "Oh man, this would feel so different if I were not a citizen, or if I were undocumented, or if I were worried about my family or whatever." Um, it brings it all right into focus.
Yeah, and I find borders really fascinating things, because they're complete constructs.
Yes.
They are completely manufactured. There is nothing quote unquote natural about a border. It is all a political endeavor.
Yeah.
And so you stand at the border and you're literally 4 footsteps from another country, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
if you're born on this side of the fence, you have this experience. If you're born
Yep.
on that side of the fence, you have that experience. And that the experience, the difference of those 4 feet is so fundamental to our like lived experiences that
Yeah.
it's stunning, really.
Yeah, yeah, and that's one of our volunteers, Greg, who works with us a lot, in a bunch of different states. He was down there, and it was interesting because he said, we were knocking on doors, and we are like, "We can go to the hotel, or we can go to the border real quick." And he was like, "I don't want to go." And he's from Texas, and
Mhm.
he lives in San Antonio. And what he says, because he's actually from Texas, like all the way back, and he's like, "My people, we didn't cross the border crossed us."
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah.
his people date all the way back to when Texas was a part of Mexico, and then it wasn't. And he's like, "We didn't move. We're here. And now we're treated all these, with all this discrimination by people who got here after we were here." So, this is this strange reality for a lot of people where they didn't cross a border. They just stayed where they were, and all the legal lines changed around them.
Yeah. Wow. That is something. Yes. The border crossed us.
The border crossed us, and then a bunch of people who immigrated here a generation or two ago are now telling us we don't belong. Folks who descended from um, you know, European immigrants, not like, not way back in like Columbus days, but I mean like, folks, Irish immigrants, or, and now they're like, "Hey, go back to where you came from." And they're like this, the cognitive, like, if you know that your people are here, having to think like these people who hate us and are telling us to go back, it doesn't make sense. And that reality, that like those are the doors we're knocking on. Those are the people that we're talking to. Those are the people who have varying degrees of a stance on immigration. Actually, is just a really fascinating thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
because some of them are like, "We don't want new immigrants here, like we don't, or you got to cross over legally or don't cross at all. And it's like, so interesting, really, really interesting.
Um, and do we have another trip to McAllen still, right? We have one more.
We have another one, and they are there. I think it's about 30 people going, which is the right size for that. Um, and that's going in like 2 weeks.
Okay. Yeah, 30 people today is like a trip that you all and our fieldwork teams uh, handle quite easily. We've obviously gotten much bigger on some of our trips. And so
Yeah,
to
Nevada had 50 or 60
yeah.
this past weekend as well.
Mhm. Um, so you're back in Seattle from Georgia and from Texas, and then this is Wednesday, the
Just
9th.
today's Wednesday.
It
All
is.
right.
It is. In Seattle, it's Wednesday. Okay.
Oh, okay. Got it.
In the rest of the country, it's just a blur for you. All right.
That's right. That's
When do
right.
you get back on the plane?
Friday.
Okay. And to go into where?
Going to Arizona and then Michigan and then Pennsylvania.
Okay. So, everybody, I want to pivot to a little bit of fun things because it's important to keep laughing in the middle of all this.
Yes.
But
Super important.
everybody listening to this podcast, I am thrilled to do it on a daily basis. Um, But the reason you only see Charles or Ben or Puya once in a while is because they're so busy out there leading our teams. And the goal here always is to connect the body of CP work out in the field, which wins elections, with our whole community. So we get a chance to talk about it and to kind of share it. But the energy and the work that goes on a daily basis in our field work is the complete reason for this organization.
That's
Okay.
right.
So we don't do the podcast or do our education or do our leadership development, which we love. We are down and deeply interested in all those, but we don't do those if we don't do the work, the action,
That's right. Yeah.
because it's
It's
not, that's not that's what this organization is defined by.
that's right. Yeah.
Um, so everybody out there traveling, doing the work, thank you. And everybody supporting it, big thanks. All right.
Yeah. And following along. Thanks for following along. It helps to know we got some people back home who've got our backs and who are watching our journey.
So while you were not here, the Kamala Harris
Yeah, what happened? What
went
did
on
anything
a
happen?
she went on a media tour that has involved a couple podcasts and then 60 Minutes, and then
Yes.
yesterday the View,
Howard Stern.
Howard Stern, and then last night with the Colbert Report, the Late Show with Stephen Colbert.
Oh, she was on Colbert?
Yeah, she was on Colbert last night.
Whoa,
Um,
okay.
so I want to. This was just like 12 hours ago.
Wait, you said the Colbert
No,
Report. That's a throwback. That's a
yeah, I
throwback
know.
to yeah, that's what it used to be.
It's
Nice.
not even 12 hours. Let's see, it's 10 o'clock. No, it was about 12 hours ago that it aired in Seattle. So people probably haven't seen some of these clips. Um, and this is a really interesting. I got 3 clips I want to show from her and the fact that these clips are available and disseminated so quickly and are widely shared by both the Late Show and by Harris just shows you the pace, the speed at which all of this campaign moves, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yesterday, Trump, Woodward's book comes out yesterday. Also, a book came out by Bob Woodward. Okay, Bob Woodward's book comes out, and in it, the kind of like go-to claim right now is that Trump gave COVID tests to Putin back in 2020, and Putin said, "Don't tell anybody because we don't
Mhm.
want anybody to know about this." And Trump denied that yesterday, and then the Kremlin today confirmed it. Okay.
Wait, wait, the Kremlin confirmed that story?
Yes, yes. Which is really interesting to me. It's like
Yes.
Putin has had it with Trump, I think,
I
right?
think so. That's a big deal, man.
It seems to me that Putin understands that Trump's day is gone.
Yeah, to do that kind of thing that quickly, that's a strategic move. That's not just a we would like to do this for accuracy and honesty and sake. That is we're
They would
washing our
not
hands of
do it.
this
They would
idiot.
not do it for that sake, right?
So I think that's a really big data point. And we can put a pin in this because that's all we got right there. But I think that if if he is done with Trump, that means that all the things he did to help him get elected in 2016 don't happen this time. And that is like that's mis and disinformation online. That's social media manipulation, hacking. It's money under the table to Trump and other candidates. That's watch that space, everybody. That's a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah. So things, Woodward's book comes out. Harris is doing all these interviews. And last night she goes on the Late Show. Now, to set up the first clip, which is the opening like monologue or very short introduction by Stephen Colbert. At the beginning of the 60 Minutes interview, which aired on Monday, Scott Pelley from CBS, and I showed this on the podcast yesterday, does about a 2-minute long monologue where he says, look, presidential candidates have been coming on 60 Minutes forever. All right. And we invited Donald Trump and Kamala Harris.
That's right.
And Harris accepted, and she's here tonight. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then he just blisters Trump for like a minute and a half. Okay.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. He says Trump, they agreed to come. They said they'd come. We set up the date and everything. And then Trump backed out. All right. And he just buries Trump, Pelley does, before starting the Harris interview. So this is Colbert picking up that kind of like meme. Okay. And he's doing it exactly the same way that Pelley did it on CBS News. In the background is the stopwatch ticking. Okay.
Oh gosh. Oh wow. This is good. Oh man, you're gonna get us copyright stricken again.
I know. I may have to show that. I may have to just have this one be only not a YouTube video. Okay. So
good. Oh wow. Look at that.
So it's exactly the way Pelley was sitting on a stool with his hands crossed like that.
That's the 60 Minutes intro right there. Wow.
Yeah. Buddy, calm down. My dog's like, what's up, man? I want to know why you getting all excited. All right, here we go.
Good evening. It has been a tradition here at The Late Show since yesterday that the major party candidates sit down with me for an interview in October. We invited Kamala Harris to be our guest this evening, and she accepted. That interview in a moment. In the interest of fairness, we also invited former President Donald Trump to go himself. He declined our offer. Good evening. It has been a tradition here at The Late Show since yesterday that the major party candidates sit down with me for an interview in October. Man. We invited Kamala Harris to be our guest this evening, and
that is amazing.
That interview in a moment.
Yeah.
In the interest of fairness, we also invited former President Donald Trump to go himself. He declined our offer.
I mean, I can't like this,
I love it.
Like Colbert, like this is the kind of stuff, like, because Colbert's shtick always is mocking conservative spaces. Okay.
Yeah.
So what he's doing right there is essentially like the subtext of all Fox News and Newsmax coverage, right? It's we invited and they're in their spaces. They're like, we invited the savior, the Lord and Savior, Donald Trump, to come, right? And Kamala Harris, that illegal immigrant from Haiti or whatever, right?
Yeah. I love that. That's really good. Okay, I need to watch the rest of that.
Okay, so that's him opening up, and then
you got more?
I got 2 more clips. Yeah, then
I want to see this.
Then this is her Vice President Harris coming out, and this is really a great moment because it's just the joy that we've seen for some time. It's just so good here.
My fellow Americans.
Wait. Where's the video?
Oh, you're not seeing it? Okay, thanks.
No. I need to see the video.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Those of us who don't stay up at night, to watch these things. There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Americans, my guest tonight is the Democratic nominee for President of the United States. Please welcome back to The Late Show, Vice President Kamala Harris.
That's a good intro music.
Yeah. Hang in there, it's not over yet.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hi, guys. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
They don't know how to pronounce my name.
There you go.
They
That's
know how to
good.
pronounce my name. What? That's just,
That's cool. That's cool.
yeah.
One Nation Under a Groove. That's good. I like that.
Where did you see that? Was that written on the band side or what?
No, that's the lyrics to the song, man.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. One nation under a groove. Nothing can stop us now. That's perfect. That is perfect. That's Kamala right there.
So, okay,
Great.
enlighten me. And our podcast. So this is a known song?
Yes. Yes. I see now I don't remember the name of the song, but this is before my generation.
Okay.
But I did grow up listening to this. See now I bet you Funkadelic. There we go. One Nation Under a Groove. 1978.
Yeah, man.
1978. Yes.
Awesome. All right, one more clip here.
Okay, you got another one. This is good. I love this. Can we just do this when I'm like back from trips where you just catch me up on the week?
Yeah, I will.
That's good. I love it.
I'm thinking about like when we get to the final 10 days of the campaign of maybe doing like hosting a Zoom each evening of just like fun and energy and for 1 hour or something like that.
Fun and energy. What are you gonna do? You gonna dance and stuff and do jumping jacks or whatever?
No, you're gonna do that. So
No,
you're
you're gonna do like Elon Musk at the rally where you just jump up and down.
like, man, I can't reveal my secrets. I'm just telling. Okay, so this is one more clip. There's a couple. This is a good one.
But I want to ask about this. Can you tell us, this moment went viral from the debate. Can you tell us what you're thinking at this
Yeah, yeah.
And keep in mind, this is CBS. What was going through your mind there?
It's family TV, right? It starts with a W. There's a letter in between, and then the last letter is F.
Your economic plan. But I want to ask about this.
It goes on your economic plan, and that's the beauty of these forums. Is
Yeah.
come in and there's joy and there's fun, and then the candidate, if they're good, gets a 5 to 10 minute window to like slide in some like policy based info, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, you get the fun. The fun thing is like the candy, and then you get your vegetables after that. Yeah, completely. Yeah, and she's so good at that because she can go back and forth. She can go hard policies. She can go back to fun. She can, she's been in politics. This is what you get when you get somebody who's been in politics for their whole life, is that she's deft at that kind of thing.
She moves seamlessly between humor and like gravity and substance.
Yeah.
Better than Barack Obama did. Okay. I think it's more Bill Clinton-ish, actually.
Oh, interesting.
Like,
interesting.
There's just this, and to me, it is this informality that comes with, for Clinton as a Southerner, okay, and for Harris, I think as a woman needing to be able to move, like spin on a dime constantly, right? Whereas Obama, I think, has had more of an ability in his lifetime to control the spaces that he's been in, and so like he never would get too vulnerable with his humor or with his laughter. Like it was always on his terms. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that there's also this that's really interesting. So I think that the part about her being a woman and have to live in a professional world that a man shaped is a big part of it. I also think another one, if you draw a through line to Clinton like you did, is that she grew up more culturally African American than Barack did.
Barack did. Okay.
And African American culture is rooted in Southern culture, so that's the connection between Clinton and her. And yeah, because people said like Barack Obama's black card runs through Michelle Obama, but for her, it's been her entire life, and so that ease of transitioning between formal and informal, mixing it all together, that is a very Southern thing. It's a very, very black thing, and that's also why like white people go in black spaces. There's like it's like that back and forth. It's like confusing. Like you and I've talked about this, and as we've exchanged culturally in the building of common power. I remember very early on, you'd ask me questions about this, but that is a thing, like within black culture, within brown culture, within Southern cultures. I'd say it's prominent in Latinx culture, and some others where you kind of just you go back and forth really seamlessly and easily. So yeah, she's grown up in that, or she's great at it. She's really great at it. Yeah.
Yeah, it has been a thing for me to learn and to understand and to recognize that like the facility to move between different emotional like spaces in a quick fashion with a genuine commitment and relationship to each other.
Yes.
Through all of it.
Right. Yeah.
Has been something that I've learned over the last decade of, so just because we were laughing and now we're arguing doesn't mean our relationship changed.
That's right.
Somewhere between that moment.
That's right.
The cultural experiences I've had those two things mean that the relationship somehow just shifted. All right.
Right. Yeah. I remember being in those situations with you and you're like, what happened? And I'm like, nothing. Nothing happened. It's just, we just talk different in this moment on this topic. Yeah. That's why she said, what did she say? Her favorite curse word is, starts with, M and ends with right? Yeah, because you could use that. You could use it like it is purely negative form, or you could say it in the most loving way. You could say like, this motherfucker right here, man, you do the craziest shit. I love you. You could. It is totally, completely, yeah. Anyways, all right.
So I want to close today with with a photo you showed me before we got on here. It's when we go out in the field, let's go ahead. You go ahead.
Totally.
This is from, you talked about Georgia and Texas. This is from another state.
And this is not where I was. So this is in Ohio. And can you see this?
Yeah, sure can. Yep.
Yeah, this is in Ohio, and it's so they posted this in the Slack. All right.
Who did? We did? CP or who?
The team posted this in the Slack. Oh, the team posted this in the Slack. And I was looking at it and I was just like, that's really cool. This is really cool. It's a cool picture. It's cool that the team went to a Shared Brown rally and that they took a picture together at the Shared Brown rally. And it did not register that there's Shared Brown in this picture. Okay, I was just like, this is our team of volunteers, and this is a cool picture.
Right, it looks like kind of me in the middle or something there.
Yeah,
right?
This looks like a Common Power like community member person. And then I paid more attention. I was like, oh wait, that's a U.S. senator in the middle, just looking like the most regular guy ever. And that's like his whole thing. That's his whole, like, a part of his issue is that like nobody knows who he is. And his name sounds like a black guy.
Oh.
Like a lot of people are like, hey, is it Sherrod Brown? Is this an African American person? I lost you there. Right? Isn't that like the thing with him, is like people are like, who's Sherrod Brown? Because he's just like, he's a really sincere, focusing on governing kind of senator.
Yeah,
doing his job.
Yeah, his big kind of like well-known phrase is the dignity of work. Okay.
Yeah, and that is
Big to
like
do
that's
with one.
not like a campaign message. That's a that's a and it's from like that's a message from back in the 30s or something. I don't know, but he's been their senator for how long?
Uh, at least since 2012. See, you stumped me now. Let me take a look.
Yes, he's a two-term senator. So, I mean, he knows how to win. But in this, what the interesting thing is, he comes from a bygone era of politics where we used to, really have our fiercest debate was about the marginal tax rates and stuff. Um, and now he's in this um, the supercharged,
Sure. Yeah.
binary political system, political view era of Trump, and he has to run for re-election. I don't know how he won 6 years ago. Actually, now I'm thinking about it.
So he won in 2006 and he beat a two-term Republican incumbent, Mike DeWine, who's now the governor
Oh,
in the
that's
state.
right.
Okay.
Interesting.
So in 2006 he won. In 2012 he won fairly comfortably because that was an Obama re-election year. In 2018,
Yeah, how do you win in 18? This is blue wave.
this is blue wave, and he won by a couple. Oh, he had a bad Republican candidate, Josh Mandel.
Okay.
And now he's
I'm
got a
remembering
bad
now.
Republican candidate, Bernie Moreno, and that helps Brown a lot.
Yeah. Okay. And so we're there for I think a couple trips. We're not spending too much capital over there. But this was our first trip this fall to go to Ohio. I think we went there again. We went there in the primary. But anyways, there's something significant about Ohio that you brought up.
Oh, sure. Well, a couple things. One is there is a ballot initiative in Ohio which would break the gerrymandering in the state. And
Oh, really?
yes. And so that like winning there has a double. There's three things actually. Pooey and I talked about this when we were talking about the last time around here. There's Supreme Court races. There's a
Yep.
ballot initiative which would wipe out gerrymandering, and then there's Brown's reelection. Okay.
Yeah,
All of those are really, really important. Every one of those moves us forward. Okay?
totally. If
So
only we had reproductive rights or marijuana on the ballot.
Nebraska does have both of those. Okay.
Nebraska has both?
Yes, that's part of what makes Nebraska interesting. Okay. They have both of those.
We got that one. I'm calling it right here.
We got a shot, man. We got a shot. But anyway,
And by we, I mean the independent.
oh yeah, with the we, right? Dan Osborne. But and so in Ohio, there's this. There's those three measures. And so we were like, hey, we're looking for people to go to Ohio. Like that team matters. But the thing that I just learned yesterday is I learned it because there's early in-person voting in Ohio. And early in-person voting, early in-person voting draws a different group than who votes by mail. All right. There's a lot of people in this country that want to vote in person. They want to put that ballot in the box. And it's particularly people of color often who want to do that ballot, right?
Yeah, they don't trust the mail, and for good reason.
Exactly.
For good freaking reason, because this system tries to all kinds of ways to mess up their ballot. And also, DeJoy is still in charge of the U.S. Postal Service for some reason. Jeez Louise. How? Anyways.
Yes. I know.
Trump appointee, DeJoy. Go ahead.
Hang on.
Okay, so early voting.
Yesterday's the first day of early in-person voting in the state of Ohio. Now, we often at Common Power use Texas and their Dropbox law as an example of voter suppression. In Texas, there's a state law that limits drop boxes for ballots to 1 per county. And on its face, sounds fair, okay? But it's not, because Harris County, which is 80% black and brown, has more population than 25 states in the country. So it's not remotely equivalent. Well,
how many million? How many million is in Harris County?
4.8 million.
4 million, in
Harris County.
One drop box possibly,
And in King County, there's 80 plus drop boxes in Seattle, as an example of contrast, okay? So in Ohio, early in-person voting has a law that is 1 in-person location per county. 1 early in-person location per county, okay? So in Columbus, which is Franklin County, it's 1.3 million people, and there's early in-person voting there. And so you see these lines, and you're like, yeah, because they've only allowed them to have 1
that is
in-person
outrageous. That is outrageous.
That's voter suppression, facially neutral,
Facially, yeah, that's right.
Right?
You taught us all that. That's really good. Yep.
racially discriminatory. So, folks, we got things going on. My dog is all excited and amped. I
Hey,
think
you can't hear it on the recording at all. You can't
you
hear him
can't.
barking.
All right,
No.
stop it, man. It's okay. I think he's like, that's Charles. I hear Charles's voice. All right.
Yeah, he's like voter suppression. Yeah, fuck that. He's
It's like pieces of shit. Those. All right, man. So, voter suppression is obviously real everywhere. And the way that we work is to try to overcome that state by state. Texas and Ohio, two of the worst, were out there this past weekend. Okay.
That's right. We're doing the hard work, and that's where the margin of victory is right there, right in the
All right.
field.
Welcome back, man. I got to take care of my dog.
Yeah. Hey, calm him down. Tell him that we're doing the work. Maybe he needs to come knock doors with us. That's what needs to happen.
That's a new frontier for us. Dogs with us. Yes.
That's right. All right, man. Take
See ya.
care.
Yep.